Is my presentation clear, Johan, Dian, and Edward?
Yeah, very good.
Okay, we start now. Uh, Good afternoon and a warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, on behalf of the Board of Directors, Management, and Staff, I thank you for your enthusiasm in TNS International Group Webinar 2020. Uh, Let me see how pleased we are to be holding this webinar. It's because of your trust and involvement that we are able to thrive and provide so many important benefits, not only to our clients, but also to our community. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start, I would like to send my best regards to His Excellency Cesar Purisima, former Minister of Finance in Philippines, ambassadors, corps diplomatic, Kadin from Chambers of Industry and Commerce, and from Kementerian as well. Guten Tag, sehr geehrte meine Damen und Herren, liebe Freunde, herzlich willkommen zu diesem Seminar. Ich bin sehr froh, dass viele internationale Teilnehmer, insbesondere aus Deutschland, daran interessiert sind, zuzuhören. Bitte genießen Sie unser Webinar und falls Sie Fragen, Kommentare und Feedback haben, lassen Sie uns bitte informieren. Herzliche Grüße und nochmal vielen Dank. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we will start our webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, today's my title is Property Outlook 2021. This presentation is supported by three major companies, TNS International Group, Penida Capital, and Prime Consultancy. Ladies and gentlemen, please note that this presentation may contain technical language. So for this reason, it's recommended to readers, not recommended to readers without any professional analytical experience. At a glance, TNS International Group, we start as a real estate company. We do both buy, sell, and rent, both private and industrial commercial. For example, RUCO or office building, office tower, factory, also warehouse even. And we do also the private, the landed house, apartments, even the land we sell. However, as an international company, we want to diversify our company not only in the real estate industry. So in 2019, we incorporate with a big company. So we make a TNS a chemical. We supply high quality dye stuff. So if you use batik, if you use jeans, we supply the color for that material, especially for textile. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a picture of me. We make a seminar conference last year. We invite a lot of Kadin from industry chambers of commerce. We invite ambassador, we invite media, we invite all property players to join my event, our event here. I believe Edward also came to this event with his wife, right? And in here, I give my view about the property in 2020, namely this year. And I hope you also are interested to see our view, both all our experts, to see in 2021 about the property markets. Next. So ladies and gentlemen, at a glance, this is the graph of our property market overview from 2002 until 2019. Yes, early 2019. What do you see, ladies and gentlemen? Is it a beautiful graph or it's just a pessimistic graph that going down? My personal thoughts, it is a very sad graphic because it's barely have a upwards trend in this graph. However, when you see the graph of the last 10 years, this is the Indonesian Property Price Index. Please don't get confused with the price index and the property market because it's different. For example, in this graph, you can see in 2011, the lowest price for property is in 2011. And the highest price is in 2014. As a property player, as a businessman, as an analyst as well, we see one graph, we don't take it for granted. Like Edward, his advisor, we always see what happened each year. It's like in stock market. When the news is good, the stocks go up. When the news is bad, the stocks go down. It's almost the same as in property. When you recall in 2014, we have a major election. And thank God, Mr. Jokowi won the election. So the property price market index in Indonesia spikes up to 105. And in his era, this is my personal thought, I predict with his government, the property price will be spiked up until this stage, until up here. However, if we recall in 2014 and 15, I believe there's one regulation, namely tax amnesty, that makes a lot of industrial players, especially for investors, local and foreigner investors, they wait and see, but they always see, never wait. And that makes our property price stagnant in that area, even it's slightly going downhill until now. Another aspect for it, another aspect for our investment in Indonesia is about the foreign direct investment. Ladies and gentlemen, I just got this graphic last week from a good friend of mine in Bank Indonesia. He gave me the graphic. We have a good call about 2 hours, and he said, Pak Tirta, what's your call on this graphic? I say, why? He asked me why the foreign direct investment for property is very low. If you see, ladies and gentlemen, the green graph is the total FDI, mining, the chemical, you name it all, it's the green graph. However, the yellow graph is only the property. Therefore, when he asked me, Pak Tirta, what's your insight? Why our property market is very low? I say, yeah, we must get back to basic. If you are a child, you remember when you play Monopoly, there's a rule, certain rule in that game. It's also same. We just get back to the basics. There's a government rules, regulation. And what regulation makes our foreign direct investment low? One of them is our foreign ownership regulation. Maybe this slide will be more further explained with Mr. Dian. However, my take on this slide, it's not possible for foreigners to own a land in Indonesia because you know our government rules, semua tanah air, all inside our earth must be used by our people. So that makes a paradox when US, Spain, Panama, or you name it, Australia, they call me Pak Tirta. Please come to our event here. We have an EB5. If you know, we invest in America, you get a citizenship, EB5. They are willing to have you own a piece of land in America. They want you to have a piece of land in Australia. They want you to have a piece of land in name all countries. And not in Indonesia. If I want to say we are exclusive, we're quite exclusive enough, but we haven't do it to optimize our resources. We are a blessed country, but it's just not optimal yet, in my opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a graph. I believe we invite a lot of bank player in here, a lot of property players in here, a lot of kementerian. I remember last year, I and Edward was the TC. When I show this slide, I haven't talked one sentence. Everyone from kementerian, everyone from Kadin, they stand up, they took a picture about this graph. I just laughed at in front, like, come on, ladies and gentlemen, this is a wrong graph, I say. And they all ashamed, very ashamed, and they sit down again, and I say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not God. Who can in the world can predict 25 years about the property market? This is from 98. Someone predict our property market every 8 years, going up, going down, going up, going down. Who can predict? No one can predict that far. And in my analysis, and this is a lot of data being compiled, this is the real graph, ladies and gentlemen. So they got lucky in the first, what is it, mountain or the first amplitude, they get lucky, correct, quite correct. However, this area here, it's not going down in 15. We got our rock bottom is in 2018 and 19. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's our data from all of our industrial player. Yes, we agree 2018, 2019 is our rock bottom. And in the last seminar, in the last conference, I say, looking forward for a stable propensity in the property market in Indonesia. Therefore, I say 2020, this year, the property price and the property market will go up. And that's true, it's going up in from 2019, slowly going up. However, in 2020, early 2020, the first banjir, couple of banjir in Indonesia, banjir is a flooding, and in addition with a COVID-19, that makes like what we have discussed, Edward, we have a coma for 6 months and more. That's quite devastating for our company and our business sector in Indonesia, even worldwide. So my analysis, this is also what Ibu Sri Mulyani have told me as well. This graph, before the red graph is my prediction, but the blue graph now is the new analysis from me, because it shifts to the right and it's expectedly to be recovered perhaps 2 or 3 years, like in 2008 and 9, we have a property crisis like we have discussed before with our panel. We discussed that we recovered 2 or 3 years, then going up slightly, same like this. Perhaps this is quite faster because we have already the trend is already going up, so it wouldn't be quite long to recover. And my prediction is 2022, it will be slowly recovering and going up afterwards. Ladies and gentlemen, as a summary, Indonesia market, housing market has slowed down since 2014. However, I believe with the stable politics, economy, social, technology, legal, and environment, I believe that the property market will be more stable in 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all from me. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question, feel free to write an email to me, or if you want to connect with me on Instagram, feel free to follow me and shoot me a DM. I'll answer your question. So thank you very much. I'll stop my screen sharing and stop being the speaker. Now I'm the moderator mode. Now, Edward.